I get asked this question a lot, what made you a feminist?
It's really tricky to answer that because it feels like it was always there.
I feel like I've just been brought up with the notion that to be a woman is to be a feminist.
I mean, feminism is just the idea that men and women should be treated equally.
Being able to say no, as well as yes. There's no should, there's no yes, I'm going to do that because that's expected of me. I want to do this because it's good for me. It's good for me as a female. It's good for me as a person.
Simply, it's the understanding and the fighting for equality. But you can take that to mean so many different things, and it's something that I'm constantly being educated on and being schooled on over and over again, is how equality looks to different people.
It does depend on the sets of your identities. For me, it's wrapped up too in ideas of race and that type of othering.
My first introduction was actually very white Western feminism from the 70s. It had a very rigid idea of what feminism looked like and what a feminist looked like.
That, I mustn't shave my legs and I must be a lesbian and all that kind of stuff, which sadly in my case isn't really true.
Didn't feel like it matched me. I like clothes and I like shoes. I guess I was introduced to this idea that those things were not compatible with feminism. And that who I was or who I felt like I wasn't compatible with feminism. And that the things that I enjoyed about being a woman were problematic.
And it was a real cliche of me being like, yeah, I'm all for women's rights, but because I'm not this stereotype, I mustn't be a feminist.
Because we do live in a world where the female experience and feminism is quite demonised, to kind of embrace that label, it really is like a bit of a thinking process that goes through it.
It took me some time to then be able to reclaim the idea that you can be feminine and a feminist, that feminism can take lots of different forms, and that feminism is about the freedom to be who you are, whatever form that takes.
Differences should be respected and honoured and celebrated. I needed that awareness of the fact that we are really strong, and it's because of our difference.
You don't like to admit that it actually takes a toll on you, but of course it does. I don't have the sort of freedom to move about in the world the same as my white, straight male partner does. He can go for a run at night. He can expect to not be catcalled in public. I can't.
From walking down the street, being constantly aware of your physical safety. And I think that is something women have been taught to do virtually from birth. I don't know a woman who doesn't think about their physical safety pretty much on a daily basis.
Having to deal with bloody taking up as little room on the train as you can because friggin' dudes are manspreading.
It's like you put these gender glasses on and then you see inequality and everyday sexism everywhere, and then you can't take the glasses off.
Even just getting to and from work and having to, I don't know, exist in the world and look kind of nice and whatever, that can be a bit tiring, I think.
One thing that I've been trying to do, one smallest gesture towards a sense of a level playing field, is just not to apologise so much.
I think feminism needs to be active because it's not change, and social change and transformation is not a passive game, right? It requires action. It's talking with friends, it's calling out sexism, it's holding people accountable, it's raising children differently, it's being very conscious and active in promoting diversity. Feminism has given me the right to fight. We don't get to just show up and we get what we want, we friggin' fight for it. Which is annoying, but it makes us stronger, I think.
Feminism has given me a right to have my own voice and a way to have my own voice. It's given me a way to have a voice that wasn't necessarily seen as obnoxious or, anything else, or bossy.
In the last couple of years, I've really started to really appreciate the presence of my girlfriends, and that we all kind of have similar struggles and we need to kind of just stick together and help each other through these things.
Don't think that you alone can't make a difference, but make sure that you find your girl gang and your people that can help you do that. Kind of like a momentum. It's almost like feminism and the feminist movement has progressed a lot, and then there's been a really strong backlash.
And now there's like a revolution in response to the backlash. And I hope that that continues to build. Like, I'm excited by that.
I think remembering that you have a right to fight, that you have to. You can't just decide that it's too hard. You have to keep going with it. I think that's what feminism is for me.
You know, sometimes when things get really bad, that's the motivator to take, for people to really stand up and say, no, this is not happening, and we're going to push for change.